I always thought that when two people said "I do," it meant forever. I believed in loyalty in marriage vows and the simple idea that love could carry two people through anything. My name is Rachel Simmons, and I had been married to Kyle for 8 years. We met in college. He was majoring in finance. I was studying early childhood education. He was charming, confident, a little reckless, but I loved that about him. We built a life together in Charlotte, North Carolina. A quiet suburban neighborhood, weekend barbecues, annual trips to Hilton Head. From the outside, we looked like a model couple. But inside, something was slowly unraveling. It started with distance. At first, I thought it was just the stress of Kyle's new job. He had recently been promoted to regional director at his firm, and his hours became longer. He traveled more. I wanted to be understanding. I made his favorite dinners. I left sweet notes in his suitcase before his business trips. I even bought new lingerie, hoping maybe we just needed to spark things up. But he barely noticed. When he was home, he spent most of his time on his phone, or buried in work emails. He stopped asking how my day was. Our conversations grew shorter, more surface level, and eventually just faded. I started noticing small things: lipstick stains on his dress shirts that weren't mine, perfume that didn't smell like anything I wore. He became oddly possessive over his phone, setting it face down on the table and taking it with him even when he went to the bathroom. I knew something was wrong. My heart sank every time he said he had a last-minute meeting or a client dinner. I tried to talk to him. I asked him directly one night if there was someone else. He laughed and called me paranoid, told me I needed to relax. But I knew. One morning while Kyle was in the shower, his phone buzzed on the counter. I had never looked through his phone before, but something in me just snapped. I picked it up and saw a message from someone named Lena. The preview read, "Last night was amazing. I can still smell you on me." I froze. I felt like I couldn't breathe. My chest tightened. My knees went weak. He came out of the shower minutes later, whistling like nothing had happened. I confronted him right there in the bathroom. He denied it, then got angry. Said I was invading his privacy. He accused me of not trusting him and stormed out. That night, he didn't come home. I cried for days. I didn't eat. I didn't sleep. My best friend, Nicole, came over and sat with me on the couch while I tried to piece together what had gone wrong. "You didn't do this, Rach." "He did." "You've done everything for him," she said. She was right. I had put everything into that marriage, my time, my energy, my love, and in return, I got betrayal. But something shifted in me after that. I realized I had spent so long making sure Kyle was okay that I had forgotten about myself. I needed to rebuild, and it had to start with me. I signed up for a local gym the next day. It wasn't about losing weight or changing how I looked. I needed something to focus on, a routine, a way to gain control again. That's where I met Damon. Damon was a personal trainer at the gym. Tall, muscular, with an easy smile and kind eyes. He wasn't one of those trainers who barked orders or showed off. He was calm, attentive, and incredibly motivating. At first, I just took a few of his group classes, boot camp, HIIT strength training. I was awkward, uncoordinated, out of breath half the time, but he never made me feel embarrassed. He encouraged me to keep going, to show up, to be proud of myself. Slowly, I started to feel different, stronger, not just physically but mentally. After a few weeks, Damon offered to do a one-on-one session with me. "I think you'd really benefit from some personalized coaching," he said with a grin. I agreed, and soon we were meeting twice a week. During our sessions, we talked about life, about relationships, about disappointments and dreams. He asked questions no one had asked me in years. How was I feeling? What did I want for myself? What did happiness look like to me now? I told him everything. About Kyle. About the affair. About how small and invisible I had felt. Damon listened. He didn't judge. He didn't give me cliché advice. He just held space for me. It was the first time in a long time that I felt seen. One afternoon, after a particularly grueling circuit, I collapsed on the mat, sweating and breathless. Damon sat beside me, offering me a bottle of water. "You've come a long way," he said. I looked at him, flushed, my heart still racing, not just from the workout. I'm not just talking physically, he added, and something in the way he looked at me made me feel beautiful. That moment lingered. I tried to shake it off. He was just being nice, I told myself. But our session started feeling different. More personal. There were small touches. A hand on my back during a stretch, a brush of fingers as he handed me weights. And then one day, after a session, he walked me to my car. It was raining lightly, and I didn't have an umbrella. He held his jacket over my head as we jogged to the lot, both of us laughing. When we reached my car, I turned to thank him. But the words got stuck in my throat because he was so close. I could see the rain in his lashes, the softness in his eyes. I don't know who moved first, but the next second, we kissed. It wasn't planned. It wasn't revenge. It was raw, emotional, and real. I pulled away, startled. "I'm sorry," I whispered. "I shouldn't have." But Damon shook his head. "Don't apologize." I wanted to. I looked at him, trying to figure out what I was doing, what I was feeling. Was it wrong? Was I just trying to fill the hole Kyle left? I didn't have all the answers. But I knew that in that moment, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Wanted, respected, alive. After that day, Damon and I kept things professional at the gym, but there was an unspoken connection between us. I didn't jump into anything. I needed time to sort through my own mess. Kyle and I tried counseling, but it was clear his heart wasn't in it. He kept lying, kept meeting Lena. Eventually, I filed for divorce. It wasn't easy. I cried the day I signed the papers, not because I wanted to stay, but because it was the death of something I had once believed in. In the months that followed, I rebuilt my life. I found a part-time job at a local preschool, something I had always wanted to do. I joined a book club, reconnected with old friends, even started hiking again. And slowly, I let Damon into my life, not as a rebound, but as someone who had genuinely cared when I was at my lowest. He never pushed, never rushed me. He was patient. He reminded me that love wasn't supposed to make you feel small, it was supposed to lift you up. I learned that healing doesn't happen all at once. It comes in moments, in being honest with yourself, in choosing yourself, even when it hurts. I never imagined I'd find strength in the ashes of my marriage, but I did. And while I wouldn't wish betrayal on anyone, I can say this: sometimes the worst things that happen to us lead us to the best versions of ourselves. Today, Kyle is just a name in my past. And Damon? He's not just my gym trainer anymore. He's the person who reminded me that I still mattered, that I was still worthy of love, and that I didn't have to carry the weight of someone else's mistakes. I carried my own strength all along. I just needed to find it again.